Very good morning, everyone, and welcome back. Sure, I've had an unbelievable week and weekend. I can call it because it went into the weekend as well. I'm going to call this episode Cutting the Cake because that's exactly what it was, cutting the cake. Thanks to Devin Myers as quote, Cutting the Cake. Yeah, welcome back to Flight to the Phoenix. Um, in this chapter, in this episode, is something different, really different. Something that's possibly going to be a memory for me that I will tell my grandkids one day in my dying bed. Hopefully not that dramatic, but yeah, in my old days I'll be telling stories. As you can see, I've looked like I've come from the bush where I have come from. It's not about chaos. It's not about a struggle. Today it's about silence. It's about space. Yeah, and it's about the kind of raw, pure freedom you only find when you step completely away from the world you know. I spent 3 days in the Pafuri region of the Kruger National Park with 7 of my closest mates on what we can only call a primitive trail. Well, it's called a primitive trail. No phones, no schedules, no pressures. Just us, the bush, and whatever the trail decided to throw our way. Literally. And let me tell you, it was like therapy, like meditation, like pressing a reset button on. Day one hit hard. The silence was the thing that struck me the most. Not a car horn in sight, or couldn't hear anything. Not a neighbor's dog bark, not an email ping. I think you might have heard that just now. Just the bush. Every step on that trail was like, it was deliberate, you know? Every sound had a weight. You notice things you've never noticed before. The pattern of leaves underfoot, the hum of insects, the wind sliding through the trees. And it's big trees there, baobab country. Look, 40-degree heat, but absolutely spectacular. Words cannot do justice to what I've just experienced, and my mates. Every sound had a weight. Every sound. It was just unreal. Birds in there, thousands, different birds, different flora and fauna. You know, and slowly your mind, it begins to unclench. There's something about walking for hours, carrying only what you need. Yes, I had a Timu backpack, biggest mistake of my life, but credit, it survived, weighing 15 kgs and covering about an average of 12 kilometers a day through the most ruthless terrain. Knowing your only job is to keep moving, to keep living in the moment, that clears your head in ways therapy sessions never could. We laughed, we joked, we stumbled over roots and rocks. My Timu bag actually got caught on an acacia tree up a huge gorge, and I did a free fall whilst my mates just watched on, and that was the biggest joke of the trip. Just let the old coat just slide down a rock face and we can all just watch him. That was their humor. We shared stories we've never told anyone else. Around the fire, under the sky, so vast it makes your chest ache. there's a sense of belonging, not just to each other, but to the earth. The quiet, the rhythm of the bush. Now, I mean, we were surrounded by a dangerous game in the most remote area possibly on the continent, where game don't really come into contact with human beings often. So it was life or death situations at times, and living on that edge gave you that sense of freedom of our ancestors, how they lived. It was unbelievable. And the mental clarity, it's hard to put into words. I didn't just leave stress behind. I left it at the first bend in the trail. And it didn't follow me anywhere. It couldn't. The bush has a way of swallowing all the unnecessary noise. It really does. You get to a point where you start to think of how simple life really is. I mean, the Pafuri region is on the corner of the Zimbabwe and Mozambique border. It's remote, I mean truly remote. Maybe the most untouched place I've ever set foot in. And it teaches you something simple. Peace isn't about being alone. It's about being present. About noticing life in its rawest form. The way the sunlight spills over the treetops in the morning, the way the water flows over the rocks in a quiet stream, the way silence can speak volumes. By day 3, the trail had changed us all. Not drastically, not in a flashy way, but subtly. A lighter step, a calmer voice, a mind that's a little less crowded. That's the gift of walking through the wild with friends you trust, with no agenda except to be. This wasn't a trip about achievement. It wasn't about checking off a bucket list. It was about reclaiming a piece of ourselves that we often forget exists. The part that thrives on simplicity, on laughter, on raw connection to nature and to each other. Two brothers. So, to my 7 mates, to the guides Devon and Sean of African-born safaris, and to the quiet, raw moment that reminded me how to breathe again. Thank you. Thank you. Until next time. This is Flight of the Phoenix, reminding you sometimes step off that map and find yourself where the world doesn't reach. Take some time. Do something special with close mates that you trust. It's like therapy that you've never had before. Nothing that money can pay for. Until next time, thank you.